I'm back, guys. It's good to be back on the channel. I had a very busy summer, so unfortunately I wasn't able to film many videos, but instead I was working as a photographer and a videographer for kind of a resort up here in upstate New York, as most of you guys know if you follow us at all. And I had a great summer. It was a really good time. I enjoyed myself. I learned a lot, but that's over now. At least the busy season is. I'm still up here. But the busy season is over and I can get back to making videos for you guys, and I'm super pumped about it. But getting into the video. I'm assuming most of you guys saw Chandler. He opened up a big card haul and just got, was it something like 40 decks from Bocopo. And unfortunately, Chandler only put his address down, not mine. So I don't get any cards. But I've been thinking to myself, kind of want to get some new decks, add them to the collection. So what should I do? Should I buy a deck of cards? I don't know. But that's what we're here to discuss right now. So I would like to introduce you guys to a little infographic that I've made called Should You Buy the Cards? Now, on this topic, there are a few things that you should consider. First off, number one, do you got the guap? Do you got the cash? I think that should be a fairly no-brainer of a question, but I know some people who have gone into debt on the little credit card to get the freshest new verts or fontaines or the latest hit from Bocopo. And unfortunately, that's probably not the best idea. Good fiscal management is important, and we can go into that another time, but probably rule number one is don't go into debt for things that you don't really need. And that leads us into point number two. Do you like them? Now, you can see I put a little heart there because I like my cards a lot. A lot. Obviously, this one is another no-brainer, but if we unpack it a little bit, we can see exactly why that matters. Because first off, if you're getting the cards just because they're rare, just because everyone else is hyping them up, sure, you might think it's cool for a little bit, but once you get them and you realize they're kind of very similar to every other deck you own, the excitement of owning them will go down very quickly. Now, if you genuinely like the design and you genuinely think that the cards are fresh, they're sick, they are, hey Siri, give me synonyms for cool. Cool. Siri's no help. Apple, please update her so that she can tell me synonyms and fresh vernacular to describe decks of cards. But if you actually genuinely do enjoy the design, you think they're sick, and you're gonna enjoy looking at them in your hands because they are pieces of artwork. People design them and put time into them. But if you actually do really genuinely enjoy them, that's gonna motivate you to practice more and to use them and to just get cards in your hands, practice new things, and just get more time on hand with your cards. And so even something small like that can help a lot when you've been doing cardistry for a while and you're starting to get a little bit bored. Something new, something fresh to freshen it up can go a long way. I know from personal experience, when I first got David Blaine's Split Spades back in the day, I love those cards. I thought they were so cool. I beat that deck into the ground because I love them so much. And that deck now is missing like 12 cards. The sides are all brown because of how much I use them and didn't wash my hands because I'm a disgusting slob. But hey, I got pretty good because of it. That's subjective. I know some of you guys might think I'm trash, and you can have that opinion. I think I'm trash some days too, but I think I'd be a lot more trash if I didn't get that deck of cards. Now that leads us on to point number three. What are you using them for? I did just say that I like to have a nice, cool new deck of cards to practice with. But if you are getting a deck solely for practicing purposes, it's probably not a good idea to go over the $20 threshold depending on your budget. Because when you're practicing and using a deck of cards a lot, no matter how much you wash your hands, no matter how well you take care of them, that thing will degrade and not be as nice as it was when it first came out of the box. Now, I'm not saying if you get really expensive cards not to use them. You should use your cards. But if you're going to be wanting to keep them nice and pristine, you're not going to want to use them all the time, practicing every single new move and dropping all those cards. Now, if you are planning on using them for performing or social media or anything else along those lines, we all know that the freshest new verts deck always gets yourself a couple clicks on the gram, a couple double taps, a couple of clicks on YouTube as well. So if you are trying to run a YouTube channel and Instagram account, honestly, sometimes buying those more expensive decks and those more eye-catching, notorious decks of cards in the cardistry world is actually kind of worth it. If you're just doing it for performance, I wouldn't recommend going above like $5. You really don't know what's going to happen when you're performing with a deck of cards. If you hand the deck of cards to a spectator and they're clumsy, they could drop your cards down the sewer drain for all you know. They could drop them onto the road in Lancaster where there's an Amish dude riding by on a horse and the horse just takes a... But yeah, you really want to consider the context that you're going to be wanting to use that card for and see whether it's worth it in that sense as well. Now my final point, and this is something that you guys all know, is are you building yourself a collection? Because honestly, if you have the money and you just want to collect cards, that's awesome. Like, I have myself a little bit of collection here that I enjoy. It's cool seeing all the different designs and like all the history from decks of cards that I have from like 8 to 10 years ago and how much design has changed and evolved. It's super cool to have a playing card collection and something that other people who aren't magicians can appreciate as well. So if that's something you're into, you really like design, you really like artwork, collecting decks of cards, it's a way to go. Just make sure that you're not breaking the bank and you're not starving yourself or bring yourself from any other physical necessities that you might have in order to live a good quality of life. Because I know that back in the day, my mom would give me money for shampoo and soap and I wouldn't buy it. I would just get decks of cards and I smelled so bad that no one ever talked to me. But that's how I got so good at cardistry. No social interaction. In conclusion, there is a time and a place for those nice, fancy, amazing, beautiful, rare, and expensive decks of cards. Now, you just need to know your budget, whether or not it's worth it for you, and what you're going to be doing with them exactly. Because those new decks of cards can be great to just get you excited about your craft and doing something new with a new fun deck, but it can get fairly expensive very quickly if you think that you need to buy a new deck of cards every single time that you're starting to get a little bit bored with what you're doing. Maybe learn a new move, maybe go out and perform for new people. There are plenty of other ways to mix it up. So if a deck of cards is not in your financial picture, don't be discouraged. Your normal deck of cards is just fine for practicing and performing magic, and sometimes it really is better. So without further ado, thank you guys for spending this little bit of time with me. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm excited to be back. And wait, what do we got here?